Hi guys, well you might remember from the video about the 100 watt solar panel experiments with the window that this 2000 watt inverter has gone on the fritz, and it makes like a flyback arc sound when it goes over about 350 watts. So I thought, right, okay, I'll take that off and put it onto this table here, then take it apart. Maybe it might make a video if I can manage to fix it. I replaced it with this one. It's a 500 watt. And we were running a fan in the bedroom. An hour and a half later it started smelling, there was an error light, went to red light, and that was that. So I've now got no inverter for the solar system. That's the screws out of it. And I've seen people they slide the lid off the top, because I've made a mistake. I've started to take the screws out the side and one of these things fell out, so I think that's for the MOSFETs. But let's see what I can do. I'll come back in a moment. Right, there's the top off. It was upside down, so it was the other side that needed this to be drawn outward. And immediately there's 4 capacitors there, 4 large caps with the tops domed upwards, and that ain't good, is it? We'll see what size they are. Of course I'm not sure if they're just the things that have gone. The situation was, it was running for an hour and a half, running the fan, it was drawing 50 watts, and then my wife called me in. She said that this is making a noise, and it was. This inverter was beeping. The fan was also not running. So of course unplugged everything, tried this a few minutes later, same error, just a red light on it, and the fan itself now won't turn, so we're not sure what took what out, but the presumption is the inverter took the fan out. It turns out that these capacitors are 2200 UF at 16 volts. So that's 8800 at 16 volts. Because here's the connections of all 4, and they're all in parallel. So I thought to myself, what capacitors have I got? And before touching anything, I did use this to go across all the capacitors on the board, make sure I wasn't going to get fried myself. And I found this bag, which is 4 4700s at 25 volts. Well, if I use 2 of those, I can also solve another problem too, and that is the way that they always stick capacitors right next to heat sinks. And I thought to myself, an hour and a half, it was a hot day, there's no fan blowing on this, because, you know, I killed that 5 volt fan as well, didn't I? I can move those external to the unit to keep them away from the heat, well, presumably hot heatsink where those MOSFETs go. So that's the plan, to use 2 of those externally brought outside, and then we can give it a run, see if it works. Okay, the modification's been done. Here are the 4 old capacitors. These 2 lines go into the connections where they used to go. We've got the 2 there ready to be attached to the side casing when I put it all together. I've also tested the 2 fuses. They came out fine, so that bit's okay as long as it works. So the next thing to do, put it together, tidy it up a little and test it out. There we go, back together, and I've decided to leave the top piece off because when I plug it in I want to make sure that if something explodes, where it came from. So next thing to do, connect the power and switch it on. Right, I'm going to be extra cautious there and just use these 3 old lithium ions. They do have around about 12 volts on them, so 11.81, and that should be fine for starting this up. We're just looking for the green light and not the red error one. I'm going to use a double-ended pencil to put the charge into the capacitors. Apparently it's a trick, I've not tried it before. Yeah, no sparks at all. Alright, connect up the minus. Right, the connections are on. Switch on at the back, and what we're looking for is a green LED on the front there. So, red, green, haha, it stayed green. It stayed green. Oh wow, And I did give it about a 35% chance. We've not connected anything up to the front yet or what have you, but that is looking positive. Right, what I can do now to test it is I've plugged in a lamp. It's just got an LED bulb in it, but it should be a good little test to see whether the inverter itself does in fact work. So, switch it on at the back. Yep, it's gone green. Is a light? Yes, the lights come on. How about that? It is fixed. Oh, fantastic. Right, that's a relief. There we go, it's all back together with the capacitors mounted to the side. So, let's test again. Switch on. Green lights on. Lights on. Oh, so pleased with that. That's wonderful. Alright, thanks very much for watching.